everybody, welcome to the Drunk Knitter Podcast. I am your host, Sophia. Welcome to the show. Happy Friday. I'm coming to you bright and early in my jammies, like I'm literally in my pajamas, but that's okay, because I want to share with you the highest rated but affordable knitting machine that I was able to find on Amazon. Are you ready? Let's get started. So here I have, got taken out of its prison. Here I have the Jammit. Do you guys see that? Ooh. Okay. So this looks a lot like the Centro. A lot of people were talking about having the Centro and how they did not like it. This is essentially a dupe of the Centro. I have not used the Centro, but when doing my research on Amazon, that's as far as it went. Oh, my lip hurts. Yeah, I got a little lip boo-boo. That's okay, right? Upon doing my research, I found that the Jammit on Amazon had better reviews than the Centro. More people bought the Jammit, and it is essentially a really similar machine. I just don't know if it's just built better. I don't know what it is, but more people found success using the Jammit versus the Centro, and that's why I went and bought this. This was approximately, I want to say, like $78 on Amazon Prime. The reason why I got the Centro can go for $58, but it takes longer to ship, and it just doesn't have good reviews. And I heard that from a lot of y'all who has the Centro, and a lot of you guys were saying you just didn't like it. So I went and I spent a tiny bit more, and I got the Jammit. So it looks exactly like the Centro. This is what the Centro looks like in case you're confused. And just like the Centro, it has 48 needles. It has a counter. Okay, love this counter. Oh, the other one I reviewed did not have a counter. And it has suction cups, so it can suction to your table for one hand cranking. So let's get on with the cons of this thing. I don't have a lot of cons. I absolutely, really, truly think this machine is almost perfect for being a affordable knitting machine. My one con is that the crank has a little more resistance to it than my Michael's knitting machine. So that's the only thing that I disliked about it, is that your hand can get tired with the crank if you're cranking a lot. Like, I can crank all night with my smaller knitting machine and I won't have carpal tunnel, but when I crank with this machine in an evening, I can have some sore wrists. If you're like me, they do make attachments on Etsy that people 3D print that you can attach a not a drill, it's the is it called like the electric screwdriver or something like that? Yeah, you can attach one of those screwdrivers to it. So that way you just hit a button and it spins for you. It's just a little attachment that people 3D print. And the ones for Centro, I've heard, are adaptable for the ones for Jammit. But there's a really good one, I think goes for like $30 on Etsy. And I'm going to put the link to that below. And you can just literally snap it on. You don't have to take your machine apart at all. You just snap it on and then you just attach your electric screwdriver and just go to town with it. Oh my gosh, my lip. Oh, my lip. Oh! The show must go on. I don't know what happened to it. I must have bit it in my sleep. Here. The show must go on. Anyway. Don't look at the lip. Look at the machine. So, that's the only resistance thing. But that's pretty much it for me. Oh, and I did find that this machine, does have a tendency to drop more stitches than my other one if you are unfamiliar with knitting machines. So if you're making mistakes, like for example, if you are not going steady on the first few rows, like steady, like slow and steady, like you're not stopping every now and then, you have to go slow and steady on the first few rows to ensure that you're not going to drop any stitches. Also, you need weights for this machine, like little clamps like this. y'all see this? These look like those office clips. You can literally get it from any office supply store or Walmart. So these clamps are for weighing down your knitting. And I found you need at least 5 or 6 of these. And I just put it all along the cast on edge of the tube that I'm knitting. And that allows it to weigh it down, and it stops the skipping of stitches. This machine did not come with these clamps. I got these clamps from the Michaels machine. I was so happy it came with those clamps, but you can use like binder clips and things like that just to weigh it down. It's very imperative to keep your stitches from skipping. And that's the only thing you really need to get started that does not come with the machine, is some type of clamps or clips to keep the machine weighed down. And you can just like search your office, like your home office, and try to see what you got to weigh down your work. So let's go with the pros, because there's a lot of them. The suction cups. Once you realize how to use suction cups, AE, on a clean surface and wipe the suction cup with water, maybe with a little bit of soap on it, it sticks so freaking well. And you just use one hand. Just like, oh, it's great. The suction cups really made this perfect. I also love the counter, okay? A lot of machine knitting patterns come with row counts. So it'll say, you know, work for X amount of rows. A lot of the cheaper machines don't have row counts on them. And so you just have to stick to measuring, which is lame. You have to unstick the machine, and then you have to get your measuring tape and measure it. And it's just like, oh, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I love this row count. I can really be sure of like, if my work is consistent. So if right now I'm knitting panels for a blanket, and I know I need 200 rows for a panel, and so now I know that each panel is going to be exactly the same. I don't have to worry about measuring and where there could be some variances. So yay! Another thing I love about this machine is the stitch guide. Hello. Addy machines do not have stitch guides, to the point where on Etsy, if you have an Addy machine, people are 3D printing them and selling them as like a little attachment you can add to your Addy machine. So I love the stitch guide. Look how flexible it is. Woo! So if there's a knot in your yarn, if there's if one part of the yarn is thicker than the other, it's not just gonna come free and then like you drop a stitch. It's gonna stay in that stitch guide and be flexible, and by the time it goes all the way up, like, you're gonna notice, and then you can be able to fix it. It is so nice. It saved me so many times from dropping stitches. Oh my gosh. Love that stitch guide. Love it, love it, love it. I also love about this machine is the 48 needles. It's a really good bargain at, I believe it's 70 or 80 bucks for a 48 needle machine, because usually these machines cost like upwards to like 200 plus for one that works decently well, and this one actually works decently well. And you can make hats, you can make scarves, you can make anything with this machine. You can make flat panels and make sweaters. Literally, if you get the 48 needle machine, there's a cat on my chair. There's a cat on my chair. Hello? Are you behind the massive scarf? Hello? She's looking at me, but I cannot catch her. It's my little big cat. She's fast. Oh, I almost fell off my chair. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, you can make sweaters, you can make anything with this stuff, with this machine. This is if you want to buy one machine and be done with it, this is the one that I recommend if you're looking for something under $100. This is it. This is it. This is it. Just because you can attach the the screwdriver thing to it, so you don't have to crank, so you can do things fast. It's suction cups. It has a row counter. It has a really cool stitch guide. And a lot of people don't like stitch guides. I love stitch guides. Absolutely, positively love stitch guides. Oh my gosh, you only need one hand. Only need one hand. It's great, because usually when I was stitching, I gotta hold the yarn with one hand and then crank with the other, and nobody got time for that. Okay, I want to be on my phone with the other hand. I want to be like doing other stuff with the other hand. I don't want to be like this. for like hours, okay? So yeah, I absolutely love this machine. It has everything you need into it. And it's just good. And oh no, I don't have the samples that I made with it here, but look, I made this too with it. By the way, it takes a multitude of yarns, from very, very fine yarns like fingering weight to like Aran and chunky weight. I've yet to use super bulky, but I've used like a bulky weight and it worked like, mwah. Oh, I'll put a picture of that right here. I made this bulky weight hat for my son. Isn't it so cute? It is so cute. But you can also make hats for adults. Like, it's just the machine you need if you want to make everything. So see, I made this tube right here. It looks like a scarf, but really I made 2 of these so far, and I'm gonna sew them together to make a double thick blanket. You can also make a blanket flat on the machine. I just like the tube because it's stockinette on both sides, and then it's doubly thick. And we live in the Midwest, and it's cold. There's this wonderful YouTuber, I'm going to put a link below, that has a ton of patterns that she videos from start to finish. I don't know how she does this, on her Addie King. And actually, like, everything you can make on the Addie King, you can make with the Jammit. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I'm going to post her YouTube channel below, and you can look and see what she makes as a great ideas, for some great ideas what you can make your machine. Like, literally, it's endless with machine knitting. Like, you can do a lot with it. People even made stranded things with machine knitting. I'm not that good yet. Y'all are magicians. So yeah, that's it with the Centro. It's a little bit shorter because I really don't have anything negative to say about it. It's just a really good machine. It's affordable. You get it from Amazon Prime. You can order it today and get it by like the end of the weekend, depending on where you live. Like, so I really recommend you give it a try. Just if you have sensitive wrists like I do, your wrist can get sore if you're using it for like an hour straight like I was, and cranking it like I was cranking her up. You can go pretty fast with that machine. So just keep that in mind. But they make attachments so you can use your electric screwdriver and just go zzz. Wow. Alright, so that's on the Jammit machine. I highly recommend that you give it a try. I'll put all the links I mentioned below. Oh, and don't forget, I'm a pattern designer. Remember, I just released this pattern, and I recommend you all give it a try. It is called Warmth. It's on Ravelry. I'm going to link it below. My son's calling me, so I'm gonna go. It's time for breakfast. All right, bye!